What do you have to say?
Tell them hi.
We're live from our kitchen in the great state of Florida. Can't give out any more.
No more details. I don't need you people showing up at my house.
The story of how we met and how we are together today.
So, 2019, little Margot goes to college. I cheered and had a boyfriend at the time. I don't know exactly when it was, but at some point I had seen this man over here and developed a slight crush on him.
Ooh.
It wasn't one of those crushes that was like, I never went around and was like, oh my god, I have a crush on AJ Stringby. It was never like that. And especially because I cheered and he played football. And for those of you that know, Toledo's kind of a small school. All the athletes know each other. He was talked about quite a lot by other cheerleaders.
Huh, why?
I don't know, Nick. Maybe because you were a hoe.
Rude. Hoe count 1.
But basically, it was his third year, my first year. So people knew him. Nobody really knew me. Besides
I
people
had a glowing reputation for being the nicest guy on the block.
being the biggest slut on
Two.
campus.
Okay, listen. Everybody has a phase. Everybody goes through something.
I know.
Okay, we've all grown up here. I was a 18 to 21-year-old male.
So anyways, at some point in that first semester, I had followed him on Instagram because he was the cutie little football player. And I thought he was cute and I had a little crush on him. Never acted upon it because I had a boyfriend. But I followed him. He'd never followed me back.
Oops.
Fake. Sometime, which I do believe to be before Christmas break, there was a house party at a house that will not be named that Nick was a frequent flyer at.
They had a lot of parties.
Just so happened to be bopping down the street and ended up in this house that night. Little old me, just wandering around. Well, I was with people, but, irrelevant. This cutie little giant and me, we'll reenact it for you.
Get ready? Oh, hey, Shotty. Want a drink? Okay.
Yeah.
And scene.
He was so drunk. He was so out of it. He had no idea what was going on. So, yeah, our only encounter at all at the University of Toledo was us literally running into each other at a party, him asking if I wanted a drink, and never bringing it to me.
Yeah, how was that drink?
Never had it.
Oh.
I still haven't had it.
Uh-oh. Oops.
So, after that little night, that was it. COVID hit. I went home. He finished his semester, graduated, went home, then went to Louisiana for school. That was it. So then, at some point, I had gone through and done a little social media cleanse. It was unfollowing a bunch of people that I just didn't talk to or weren't relevant anymore. He ended up being one of them. I don't remember when it was. It was like I think it was my second year. Because then my third year, my last semester, I did like spring, summer, fall, spring, summer for nursing. So it was the summer semester. It's the beginning of it. I was on Instagram in my Explore page and I saw a picture and I was like, oh my god. I clicked on it and it was him. And I was like, oh, he's so much fucking hotter than he used to be. And so I followed him. And then a little later, he followed me back. Finally.
Finally, yeah.
It only took 3 years. And that was just kind of it for like a little bit. I made some jokes with my two friends, Cammie and Anna, that I was living with at the time about him. And that was it. It was just kind of an inside joke. Then I graduate college. I moved down here to Florida and again, had a boyfriend at the time. But someone DM'd me on Instagram and said that I was so attractive. I just said thank you. That was it. That was in August of 22. Then at the beginning of September of 22, he DM'd me again and said, you're the kind of girl I would let ruin my life. So I was like, cool. What's your social security number? Well, never got that. Now I have it. And then he was like, damn, you're that good. That was like the end of that because, again, I had a boyfriend at the time. Then, like 3 weeks later, he DMs me again and he was like, okay, what's the snap? And I sent him my snap and I was like, I've been waiting on that. And he was like, well, what was the deal? And I said, well, I have a boyfriend, or I had a boyfriend at the time. He said, what's the deal with that? And I said, well, you have my Snapchat now. Then we started Snapchatting. There was a hurricane that I had, and that was the first time I FaceTimed him. And we FaceTimed for a couple hours. Then Nick connected the dots on some things and no longer wanted to speak to me for a whole day because I had talked to one of his friends and he made me text said human and basically make sure it was okay and there would be no hard feelings. And then when I told him that the person basically said, I don't give a what you do, when I told Nick that, he still took a whole day to think about it. Fine, whatever. Then we started talking again 24 hours later, and a couple days after that I asked if he wanted to fly down here because it was his bye weekend, so I bought him a plane ticket. A couple days later he ends up on a plane. I pick him up from the airport. The next day we started dating. A couple months later we moved in together, and now we're here. That's my side of the story. So now Nick can tell you his side of the story.
Well, yeah, well, technically speaking, I don't even remember our interaction at Toledo. It just kind of happened. The drink's coming. But yeah, so then that was the end of 2019. Then 2020 rolled around. COVID, boom. I hit the transfer portal February 2020, March 2020, bam. COVID, life, bam, crazy. In the end, I ended up in Louisiana. And then I was just having a good old time down in the bayou with
Still being a hoe.
the boys. But anyways, yeah, I was just down in the bayou, kicking it with the boys in good old Hammond, Louisiana. 2020 to 2022, grad school, football. That was pretty much life. And of course, growing the entire time. We all have phases of our life, Madison. But I do remember Miss Madison following me, not because I remembered our interaction, but because I was like, oh, dang. Hey, Shotty. She had a little glow up. Oh, you're going to suck on your fingers away from the camera? She's leaning out of the camera to suck on her fingers. Yeah, I was like, oh, Shotty had a glow up. Like when she said I had one.
I didn't say you had a glow up. I said you were hotter.
Oh, you said I was hotter. Oh, it's the same. Isn't that the same thing? Mm-hmm. Okay. May or may not have been a little bit of, como se dice, F-boy, maybe, at one point. Any comments, Madison?
You were a hoe.
Okay. Where even was I? Might have been a little bit of an F-boy. Sliding in the DMs, yiddle yaddle. I used one of, the lines. I couldn't help myself. She had a glow up. She was looking good. I was like, screw it. We have a connection because we both went to Toledo at the same time. Technically, she cheered for me while I was on the field.
Sideline.
Hey! Not wrong. Anywho's, yeah. So in the DMs, took a chance. I'm a little bit of a hopeless romantic. She offered a plane ticket. What a perfect opportunity to get to know a good-looking friend of mine. And then I got a girlfriend. And now, here we are.
There's some other crazy things that have happened. Like how we grew up 40 minutes apart from each other.
Yeah.
Our families are so similar. That part's like actually insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool things that we've been able to connect over and reflect upon. Oh, the big thing was like for us, you hadn't mentioned, our friends group overlapped like majorly. Like essentially, I left as she got there, and she kind of like took my spot.
Yeah, we have a lot of.
She even got closer with some of them than I did. Oh, and then the comment on why I didn't talk to her for a whole day. Well, it was bro code, and I had to genuinely think about my decision. I was being a good boy for once.
Might not seem like anything crazy, but it's kind of crazy to us. What's actually really funny is, so my freshman year was his senior year. His mom has so many pictures of me cheering because she was taking pictures of like Nick, and then I was just right there. So that's cute. I guess we have Lego pictures
Yeah.
together. Oh, we're making snickerdoodle cookies, by the way,
Yeah, and the hope is that I don't eat them all
tonight.
Hopefully they last a couple days this time. Most of the time they don't.
Oh, the other thing about us is we say it's a good thing that we didn't really we didn't know each other at Toledo because one, we were both crazy, psycho, toxic people. Like
going through mental, emotional.
We're just not. We would not still be in a relationship.
No, we wouldn't have lasted. We wouldn't have made it because we needed to grow into who we were when we met to make this work. We came into each other's lives at the right time.
I agree.
Everything happens for a reason. I want the record to show that Madison may call me a hoe, but she wasn't always a good girl herself.
What the are you talking about?
She wasn't a perfect human. Don't let her fool ya. Don't let the short, little, cute one fool ya.
I've always been an angel.
Even her mother would tell you that's a lie.
No cookies for you.
No, they're all for one for all, right? Thanks for watching. We love you all. Peace and love.